have a little time before Mr. Jefferson's class, so I can do some wandering.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Life is Strange. Previously,
I have the sweetest outfit.
Okay, people, I'm trying to talk here. We met up with Chloe at the diner, and met her mother for the first time in the story, so Joyce, who is one of our last big characters next to Frank, did some demonstration of powers to Chloe. Eventually, we made our way to the junkyard to get away from her mom. Took a phone call from Kate, much to Chloe's dismay, to check in on her because she clearly needs our attention more. And then we went to the junkyard where we did some more kind of playing around with Max's powers, and ran into Frank himself, the final player character, who had Rachel's bracelet, and was threatening Chloe to get the money that she owes him. And that kind of ended off with essentially we pulled the trigger on him. The gun wasn't loaded. He kind of backed off from us for now. Said he wants the money by Friday. And on our way away from there, Chloe nearly got killed by a train, and we saved her with our powers. So it was quite the episode, and we got a lot to walk into this time as well. So brace yourself, and let's just jump in.
Justin always looks stoned.
Because he always is stoned.
If I was normal, I'd be super excited about going to a major shindig.
So there are 2 photographs left.
How many students ever actually memorize all this shit? I guess we all should these days.
Shouldn't be hard to. I mean, you're literally here all the time.
Carrying a gun to class is cool, though.
Okay, so let's talk to the big man.
I swear, Principal Wells always looks distressed. Sir?
Oh, hello, Max. I hope this isn't about the alleged gun incident.
Alleged? Nathan did have a gun. Have you talked to him yet?
Yes, he's deeply upset about this accusation. I don't blame him. Once I have all the facts, we'll talk. For the moment, focus on your schoolwork.
I can't focus when I'm scared.
Please don't say that. There's nothing to be scared of at Blackwell Academy. Our head of security is overseeing a new era of campus safety.
I saw Mr. Madsen hassle Kate Marsh yesterday.
Wait. Do you see a pattern here, Max?
Probably not the same one you see.
It's very easy for you to instantly accuse people of doing terrible things. Nathan, Mr. Madsen, who's next? Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting.
Come on, dude, really?
Trevor surveys his domain. Join us, or die. So you can almost shoot somebody on Monday and party on Friday? Prescott power.
Alright, let's play... Ooh, is that the same?
If I was normal, I'd be super excited about going to a major shindig.
Let's play on Victoria's friends.
Courtney will do anything for Victoria and the Vortex Club.
Hey, Courtney. Ciao, Max. No photos, please. I have to come up with a guest list for a Vortex Club soiree.
Really?
Oh, like you care.
I'm not anti-soiree.
You seem anti-fashion, though. A Vortex Club party has a strict dress code. Do you even have a dress? Sorry, but nice try.
Okay.
Hey, Courtney. Ciao, Max.
Really?
Oh, like...
I'm sure the Vortex Club has a dress code. As you can see, I would need your advice on what to wear.
Thanks, Max. I didn't think you noticed high fashion. Tell you what, I'll put you down on the guest list, and before the party, I can give you some tips.
Cool. Thanks, Courtney.
I'll send you the party info later. Back to the list.
Wow, that was easy. Play to her interests, I guess. Thought that girl didn't have any legs there at the bottom for a second. Silent Hill 2 vibes.
I'm going to find out what happened to you, Rachel. Desperate much? We're already here. Zachary always looks like he's ready to throw a football. Hello, Zach.
Sup, Max? It's weird to not see you without your camera.
I'm always taking pictures with my eyes.
I bet. As long as you don't talk to everybody about all that shit with the sext in Victoria.
It's over. Just another Blackwell mini-drama.
You mean stupid shit? Man, I just don't get Victoria. What does she want?
Probably for all of us to talk about her. Like now.
Then let's not. You're pretty smart, Max. See you at the game Friday.
Yes, because Max totally goes to games.
Blackwell sure takes its swimming seriously.
Right.
But otters are cute. Go otters. You can really learn a lot about a school by the weird shit posted on the boards. Maybe you owed money to Frank, too.
Here we go. Ooh.
Good thing I left my AK at home.
Yeah, same commentary.
I should feel lucky to be here. Now, why would Frank Bowers have your bracelet?
Good question.
If my tornado vision came true, it would be the end of the world.
If you walk by, he'll try to talk to you.
If only I knew what David Madsen was really up to.
Excuse me, Mr. Madsen?
I know things got a little heated yesterday in Chloe's room. Was that really your reefer?
Yeah.
No, it belonged to a friend of mine. Are you gonna bust me now, Mr. Madsen?
Even I'm not that much of an asshole. And I am sorry about yesterday. I was wrong, but upset. Cannabis is not a big deal to you, but it has been to Chloe.
You're a combat veteran. She's no threat to you.
If I didn't care about her, I wouldn't care at all. When I was her age, I was out raising a lot more hell. She's better than that. All you kids are. So is Kate Marsh.
But you treat Kate pretty bad.
You step between us at a pretty bad time. She's another matter entirely.
Kate hasn't done anything wrong.
Max, this isn't just about Kate Marsh. My concern is for the safety of all Blackwell students, including you.
That'll take more than surveillance cameras.
It will take more than Ms. Grant and her petition to find missing students.
Isn't that your responsibility as head of security? Unless you know something about Rachel Amber that nobody else does.
I don't want to fight with you anymore. I don't want to fight with anyone anymore. That's all, Max.
Gotta throw in the science move.
I still have time. I could go see Warren playing mad scientist in the lab. Luke is always using the phone as a shield to avoid people.
Shopping for the party.
That reminds me, I have to score some weed from Nathan.
I really hope this jackass will use protection next time.
Seriously.
Juliet is laying the smackdown on Zachary.
Getting cozy.
Yes, this poster must stop bullies dead in their tracks. I hate having everybody see inside my locker. I love how Evan is so above the Vortex Club and everything else.
I was thinking about how I went through like how many versions of dialogue with him to see his portfolio, and I never looked at it.
Yo, Maxwell Smart. Talk later, cool?
Knock off this martyr
So
crap.
you can't help me?
I'm trying.
Seriously,
you have to
dude?
understand my position.
Why?
Knock. Okay. No. Wait. No. Ah, too far.
Leave me alone.
Okay. I'm gonna. No. No, I did it again. No. All right. We're gonna redo those because I want to make sure the dialogue's in there. Oh my god, that's so bad.
Hello, Zach.
Sup, man?
Okay.
I'm-
Okay.
I bet.
Okay. Yep.
It's over.
You mean...
Probably.
Then let's...
Okay, I'm keeping them the same. She's still down there talking to him. Okay, I didn't want to miss out on that.
Excuse me.
I know.
No,
Even
you're a
if I
Sticking
didn't
with the
care,
dialogue.
but you treat
you,
Kate has.
Max.
That'll.
It will.
Isn't that?
I don't.
And we went at him pretty hard. He was actually trying to apologize too, in a way. All right. I want to catch that first bit.
He believes me anyway.
Stop acting so brittle.
Being on a viral video does that.
Maybe this is your way of getting attention.
Oh,
That's
do you
mean,
really?
Mr. Jefferson? You just don't get it. Just leave me alone.
You have to talk to me, Kate.
Why?
Why would she
It's
talk
all
to you when you
over,
say
like
that?
me.
Knock off this martyr crap.
What
Oh my
do you
God,
want
dude, really?
from me?
I want you to be honest.
Nobody believes me anyway.
Stop acting so brittle.
Being on a viral video does that.
Dude,
Maybe this is your way of getting attention.
That's really mean, Mr. Jefferson.
got 2 words
You
for him
just
right
don't
now.
get it. Just leave me alone.
You have to talk to me, Kate.
Why? It's all over, like me.
Knock off this martyr crap.
What do you want from me?
I want you to be honest.
Nobody believes me anyway.
Stop acting so brittle.
Being on a viral
They're
video
just
does
repeating
that.
dialogue at this point.
Maybe this is your way of getting
Okay,
attention.
I'm gonna try to progress things in here because that seems like it might be glitched.
Think, big brain, think.
Bring me the brain, Igor. There's Mr. Wizard hard at work.
I don't think I've ever heard that full dialogue between them before.
This can't be that
Wonder why
hard.
they don't use real skeletons.
Oh, she actually left. You can't talk to her, so.
I bet Mr. Jefferson has had to deal with a lot of troubled students.
And that's the exact wrong way to deal with them.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Jefferson.
I'm only bothered when you avoid turning in photos. But you know this. So what can I do for you, Max?
Just between you and me, I'm worried about Kate Marsh.
That's no secret. Word on the street is that you and Kate had a little confrontation with our security chief yesterday.
I stepped in between David Madsen barking all up in Kate's face about something. She doesn't deserve that.
Of course not. Mr. Madsen isn't the most gentle soul. Do you have proof he instigated the situation?
My word isn't good enough? The one time I choose not to take a picture.
Always take the shot. My #1 rule of photography. And Max, I promise this matter is being discussed by the faculty. I assume you know about this viral video?
Kate is freaked out by all of this. She can't do homework while she's being tormented on a daily basis.
What if Kate brought this on herself?
Dude,
She
come on.
means well, but maybe she doth protest too much. She seems like she's holding back the truth. Have you talked to her?
Yes, I talked to her on the phone today. She needs friends and support now. I just don't want Kate Marsh to become the next Rachel Amber.
Rachel Amber? What does she have to do with Kate?
With all her missing persons posters around, it's hard not to think of her.
I miss Rachel too. But think about yourself, Max. Principal Wells told me about what you said happened in the bathroom.
It did happen. Nathan Prescott had a gun in the girls' bathroom yesterday.
This is a serious accusation, Max.
So you don't believe me? I would never make something like this up.
I hope so, Max. But it's easy to point fingers. If Mr. Madsen claims you might be a pot dealer as he did, should I believe him?
Listen, should I?
Excuse me, Max. Hello? Yes? Hold on. I have to take this, so just go into class and I'll be there soon.
I'm curious why I got that dialogue option. If I should backtrack, I don't remember there being anything.
Uh-huh. Sure, okay. Listen, I do have a class I have to teach. I have to go. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll do that.
Hmm.
Oh, I know. That makes sense.
think today.
Wonder why they don't use real skeletons.
Sometimes they do. In fact, where I'm currently teaching, we use real bodies too.
Brooke always kind of pretends like I'm almost not there. Why?
Because she has a thing for Warren, and Warren has a thing for you.
Howdy, Brooke.
Hi, Max. Making your daily rounds?
How was your drone?
Miss Grant busted me flying it over the parking lot. She's all jacked up about surveillance bullshit. Like I was spying on Warren's new car.
You already planted a GPS on him?
I borrowed the one he has on you.
I hate to hit and run, but...
Don't let me get in your way. So long.
Mm-hmm. I say it here, it comes out there.
I bet if I touch the glass, all these creepy sea critters will pop up. Da Vinci was a boss.
Alright, let's talk to Warren.
There's Mr. Wizard hard at work.
Hey, Warren. Are you okay? You look thoughtful yet confused.
Maxwell Silver Hammer. Perfect timing. I need help with this chemical experiment.
Asking me for help means you're screwed.
I have to add either a bit of potassium or sodium. It's up to you to decide, Dr. Max.
Potassium go big boom.
I'm not sure why you're letting me decide your fate, but go potassium.
Potassium it shall be. If this works, you get a free hug.
Lovely.
Weird science.
Hey, Warren. Are you okay? You look thoughtful yet confused.
Maxwell, I have to add...
I actually think you should use a lot of potassium. I mean, a shitload.
See? Look at that smile. You're going to become a scientist yet. Let's do this thing.
Hold your butt. Woo!
She blinded me with science.
I love that song. Alright, let's go back one more time. This is actually for a photo, so we want to talk to Miss Grant.
Miss Grant is so cool and smart. She defines the word teacher.
Hi, Miss Grant.
Funny, I was just thinking about you, Max. Thanks again for taking a stand against camera surveillance here. Every signature counts.
How's your campaign going?
You signed the petition, now it's your campaign too. Thanks for stepping up. More people would rather send a text than sign a petition. That's how they keep us all distracted. Nobody will notice cameras on every square foot.
I know. I really hope you keep those cameras from taking over Blackwell.
Max, with students like you, we sure will.
I'm just thinking about all the autumn photos I want to take.
Oh, this is my favorite time of year.
Mine too.
I do love the season change. This whole campus is a visual delight. I know Mr. Jefferson loves to shoot around here.
You must know Mr. Jefferson pretty well by now.
I certainly know him as a talented artist and terrific teacher. I've been here a little longer, but he's made a bigger mark. I have to say, it's not quite autumn enough yet.
What about that snow yesterday? What's your scientific explanation?
Our climate is moving beyond explanation. Of course, some of the tribes here might see it different.
Miss Grant, can I ask you a possibly dumb science question?
You know my stock teacher answer. There are no dumb questions. Ask away.
Would you add potassium or sodium to a chemical mix for this week's experiment?
Neither. Unless you want a face full of powder. I would add chlorine.
I'm sorry, Miss Grant, but I have to get going.
Go on, Max. We'll talk again. Real soon.
I was gonna say something about what she was talking about. Oh yeah. Is it there are no such things as stupid questions thing? Man, that's riding a fine line. I tell you, I've heard some interesting questions before, and I've had many relayed to me that I'm like, that should not be a question in a science class. It's not a point of like discouraging people asking questions. It's just like when you hear a question, you're like, you shouldn't have to ask that kind of question. For example, when somebody says, what would happen to me if I drank this? And they're talking about like a live bacterial culture. With the idea that they're actually probably thinking of drinking it.
Hey, Warren. Are you okay?
Maxwell?
Asking me for help?
Half daddy.
Wrong, Warren. You need to add chlorine. Not potassium or sodium.
Chlorine? I didn't think of that. Can't argue with a confident scientist. Let's try it. Eureka! She's got it.
No, you got it.
Don't be so modest, Dr. Caulfield.
Oh, you guys really broke the bounds of science.
Somebody's jealous. I kind of wonder what kind of lab they're doing if they don't know what they're supposed to be mixing. That just doesn't sound right to me.
That was fun helping Warren.
Meter maid? Why is that meter maid?
He's pretty cute when he's in full-on geek mode.
Check out the big brain on Max. You might be the next Heisenberg of Blackwell.
Oh boy. Okay, there's one more photo we can get.
Listen, I do have a class I have to teach. I have to go.
Yes, keep having shady conversations after the asinine remarks you made to Kate.
Hey, I'll do that.
Stella is smart to stay out of all the drama.
I know. That makes sense.
I guess I'm out of time to turn in a photo for the contest. Irony.
That is rather ironic.
How do I look, Taylor?
Arcadia Bay looks way more majestic here. Even in pictures, the forest around here always looks mysterious.
Okay, so the photo is here.
Alyssa really lives for her classes.
That's what all of you should be doing. Resolution, revolution. And that should also give us, come on baby, Lab Master. Okay. That is our official final photo of this chapter. And I don't understand why people would go to school and not invest in their classes. Eventually you're going to have to make a decision on what to do with your life. You should probably, invest in what you're doing, especially because most of the time you're either paying for it or either you're paying for it or somebody else is paying for it. I'm like, I don't see one, it's kind of an asshole move to waste somebody else's money. And two, if you're paying for it yourself, I mean, long run, what are you doing? I don't know, I just don't get people.
Not now, Max. I'm contemplating shit.
Okay.
It's hard to not like Hayden because he just doesn't give a shit.
I'm not particularly a fan.
I'm kind of doing something now, Max.
That's a great sketch of Dana. Daniel is the real deal. Dana is ready for her 15 minutes of fame.
No time to talk, Max. Posing in progress.
Oh, that's okay, I'm just photobombing. Can I get to Taylor?
Do you think Max will be pissed we're sitting at her desk?
Oh, I'm
Max
sure
doesn't
she'll
care.
report us to the principal.
I like Taylor's artistic side, not her personality.
She reminds me of somebody.
No time to
Like
talk, Max.
anybody does.
Art in progress.
Max is such a little...
Shh, I think she can hear us.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe the principal lets him stay in school after I told him what happened. Even if Victoria ignores me, I'm glad we talked yesterday.
Better be quiet, Victoria. We have a master snitch and liar here.
Did you think we were best friends forever or something?
Not at all, Victoria.
Max is such an attention whore.
You would know. Can I sit down now?
Oh, please do. Take a selfie of this moment.
Yeah, Max, so I won't forget you.
Assholes.
Can't stand them. Yeah, thanks. Alright. There she goes.
Okay, why is David taking photos of Kate? Now this is so wrong and weird.
Here it comes.
What up, Max?
Hey, Warren.
I saw Kate earlier and her eyes were puffy from crying.
Kate has a lot on her plate.
I didn't know what to say and she didn't tell me anything.
Okay, I know you love me, but if you're not in this class, beat it. Everybody else, please sit
Maybe
down.
I'll
We
see
have
you
a lot
later.
to cover today, and so little time as usual. I see all the usual suspects here. Anybody seen Kate Marsh?
I think everybody has seen Kate Marsh by
Dude,
now.
seriously.
She's not feeling good.
Sounds like you're giggling about a video gone viral. Maybe it involves a student? Or a friend? I wonder how it would feel to have false images of yourself shot out all over the world for people to judge. Usually, people need something to judge, so they never take a good look at themselves. We can thank reality TV for some of that. In the end, we can only blame ourselves for participating. Speaking of participation, there are a few souls here who have yet to enter a photo in the contest. Like Max Caulfield, for example. Who I know can't wait to enter, right? I'm sure you read the syllabus like it was a Harry Potter book, so you must know today we're studying chiaroscuro. That beautiful word about the contrast between light and dark. The shadow play that gives photography such visual power. It's basic yin and yang. Black and white images are effective precisely because of their contrast. Although we don't technically see in monochrome.
Yo! Some crazy shit is going down in the girls' dorm!
Zachary,
Check it!
do not come into my class like that ever again. Listen, everybody remain seated. Dismissed.
Is this for real?
Bitch flipped out!
I didn't think she was that messed up.
Who is that up there?
Oh no, is that Kate?
Whoa!
She can't die. She can't. Not again. Not now. I have to try something. I won't be able to rewind again and again. Keep going, Max. You can do it. Yes.
What are you doing here, Max? Stop! Don't come near me!
Not now. It won't work. I don't have any power. Now I have to do this by myself.
Max, seriously, don't come near me. I will jump.
Okay. I'm right here. Kate, please.
Oh, Max, I know you want to help me. I love that you stepped up to David, but it doesn't matter now. Nothing matters.
You matter, and not just to me.
I do want to believe that.
Kate, your life is still yours, and we can get through this together. Let me help. Like I helped by erasing all that crap people wrote on your room slate.
I'm glad to hear you worry about me. That makes me feel better.
Of course I worry. You're my friend, Kate.
I did feel better talking to you on the phone. I always feel like you really listen.
Kate, please trust me. Come stand by me, okay? I can help you now. I know I can. This morning I erased the web link to the video. It was written on the shower room mirror.
Are you serious? Thank you so much. The fact that you don't care about that video and would come up here to stop me means a lot.
I care about you because I believe you were drugged. We will find out who did this and make them pay.
You sound so persuasive, Max. If only.
Kate, I believe you. Will you believe me? Please, you don't have to do this.
Max, I'm in a nightmare and I can't wake up. Unless I put myself to sleep. Then everybody at Blackwell can post pics of my body. I'm already on the internet forever. No wonder they call it a web. Nothing can ever get out. Like my video. I wish I could go back in time and erase everything.
Kate, this is our chance to beat the bullies. That's the only way we can win against them.
Can we really, Max? I don't believe in miracles anymore either.
Now I do. You're part of the reason why. If you come down with me, I can tell you more.
You're such a good person, Max. Even if you're full of crap. But I'll come with you. You're my friend.
Forever. Can we hug on it?
No! Nobody cares about me! Nobody!
Kate, I saw that card from your father. You can count on him. He clearly loves you without question.
Dad does care, even though I hurt him. He's the only one I know who believes in me. I'm sorry. Sorry.
What are you talking about? You saved me from talking in class.
Now, I know today was difficult for everybody, but I'm so proud of the way Blackwell pulled together to save a young girl's life. Of course, you're quite a hero for getting Kate to come down, Max.
I didn't do much.
She's modest. Like a real hero.
Yeah, real hero.
As principal of Blackwell Academy, I take my duties seriously. I take the well-being of every student more seriously. What happened today should never happen in a hall of wisdom and knowledge. Mr. Madsen, as our head of security here, those roof doors should always be locked. That's just standard operating procedure. They were not, and that is indeed your responsibility. Mr. Jefferson, I know you can't be expected to know what your students are going through, but Kate has assisted you in class, so you should have known something was amiss. Mr. Prescott, since you are responsible for the Vortex Club parties, and since Miss Marsh did attend your last party, you'll have to answer some more questions. Miss Caulfield, why exactly were you on the roof with Kate Marsh? Did she tell you her plan? Or anything at all? Please, tell us everything.
Oh boy. That scene, I was really quiet during that. That always gets under my skin. I've never seen the alternative play out, but not having a rewind in a moment like that. Okay, as far as this decision goes, I'm going to go with kind of my original decision that I made when I first played this, just because I feel like at this stage in the story, if you're not thinking about it from a story writing perspective, if you're thinking about more immediate circumstance, I feel like they're all to blame to an extent. I think the one most directly is obviously that we have the evidence, not the evidence, but the statement from Kate about what happened at the party that she could remember, that Nathan is most likely the one who had drugged her, which is my initial thought the first time I played this. And so I typically kind of stick with that decision because this doesn't really seem to change matters much in the big picture, if you ask me. David has been harassing her in a fashion. I would say I was really surprised the first time I saw this that Jefferson's name even came up. Unless you listen to that conversation between them, I feel like that was really inappropriate, especially coming from a teacher. Granted, there are some regards with when it comes to teacher versus student where there's this thing that you'll hear about, and this is different because it's not a college, because I've only taught high school like for a couple of months of my entire life so far, and I've taught college for over 10 years. And like in my current position right now, I'm not considered a mandatory reporter for cases like this. And the base concept behind that is, one, I'm not an administrator, and two, as a professor, we tend to have a closer relationship with the students than the administration would. And so I think the reason for maintaining that, having professors not be mandatory reporters, is because of that, because we tend to know more than we otherwise probably should know. And I think that's supposed to be kind of a weird form of protection for the students in that sense. High school is a little different though, because you're dealing exclusively with minors, so it's a little bit of a different situation. And they're kind of big picture thing is like I don't know exactly how that works at a high school level, because I've only taught high school for a short period of my life. But those comments he was making to me seem really inappropriate. Telling her not to play the martyr act, telling her not, to be honest with him, telling her basically, he's saying he doesn't believe her. That's really inappropriate to be saying to a student, especially when they're clearly in a state of distress. And we're trained to, on their side and our side as far as high school versus college, we're trained to, to be able to spot that stuff. And I'm not saying we're always good at that, but they try to condition us for that, so we're ready when it happens. We're ready to, if we see something, to know what we're identifying. And so I'd say as kind of a secondary, David and Jefferson are both, I think, just as much to blame in their own way for the immediate consequences, but I think Nathan's are kind of a long time coming. So I'm just going to stick with that for now, and I'll kind of touch back on this later on when we get towards the end of the game, if I remember. But we'll go with him for now.
All I know is that Kate was at a party and Nathan dosed her. She got wasted and kissed some boys on a viral video without a clue.
I dosed her? Without a clue. Have you seen the video? Whatever. Kate was loaded and
You're
playing
a liar.
the field.
You told Kate you took her to the emergency room.
I said I was going to take her to the ER. She sobered up eventually.
Bullshit. Something happened to her and you know it. How about we talk about you waving a gun in the girls' bathroom?
That's total slander. I could sue you and this school so fast. I already have a personal lawyer.
Careful, Mr. Prescott. I have been told of this alleged gun incident, and I have to admit that the video in question was sent to me by multiple sources.
Including me.
And since, Mr. Prescott, does appear prominently in the video and was responsible for the party, I have no choice but to suspend him until further notice.
Whatever. See you in court.
Excuse me. I think Max and Nathan need a break before we grill them further. A friend and student just tried to kill herself. They don't need this forum right now.
Yes, I'm kind of devastated right now. I'd like to be with my family.
All right, Miss Caulfield, please sign here to confirm what you've told us. I'll continue this investigation from there.
My head is killing me, but I think I can use my power again.
So I don't remember how it plays out if you blame David. I've seen one person ever do it, and again, I feel like there's blame to go around. The one thing I thought was really interesting, though, is that if you blame Jefferson...
Just sign this and you're done with this episode of Law and Order.
He kind of... He doesn't really overly react to it, but he does try to throw David under the bus, which I think is really interesting. So just pointing that out, if you play it the other way, you can see them because you can rewind at this point. So if you go back and play them all out, I mean, I just thought that was a really interesting thing to do. I'm like, why? Why throw somebody else under the bus like that? Especially putting it on David versus Nathan.
Well, I think we know less now than when we started. We'll be assisting the police with further inquiries. I know this has been a stressful day. I wish I had the power to change it all for the better. So thank you for coming in.
I couldn't even believe it was happening. It was literally slow motion as I grabbed her hand. And then I could feel her grabbing mine.
Max, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Ever! You reached out, she reached out, hugs, tears, applause. Like a superhero.
Not quite. Look at me. I'm a mess.
You're glowing. Seriously, a human halo. I'm pretty sure you earned your wings today.
I'm still worried about Kate. She did try to kill herself. All over a video.
Viral is the right word. Like a disease.
So you watched it?
Just 1.5 times.
Warren, I don't mean to sound weird, but there's something ominous going on at Blackwell.
Today proves that.
And I'm working on proof that Kate Marsh is connected to Rachel Amber. Somehow. Along with Nathan and Mr. Madsen.
I'm not a big conspiracy guy, but I wouldn't doubt it. Nathan did scare me yesterday, and Madsen is a straight-up dickhead. So, what do you think is really happening?
What the hell is this? The weather confirms this weird day. Feel that chill.
Max, there was no eclipse scheduled today. I would know. I would.
I believe you, Warren. I'll believe anything this week.
Alright, and we got our final trophy of the chapter, out of time for finishing the aforementioned chapter. So before, I would like to talk a little bit about the story that played out in this, but before I do that, let's take a look at decisions. Alright. First decision, relatively divided. You told Kate to go to the police. You told Kate to wait for more proof. I tell Kate to go to the police because, one, that's what you should do in reality. In real life, that's what you should do. And the sooner you do it, the better. And at schools like this, there should be some kind of Title IX coordinator. At least talk to them. I don't know. I would think high schools should have something for Title IX. I think that's legally required. For storyline purposes, Kate needs it. She needs somebody to support her. Answering Kate's call, as I'm actually surprised it's not higher on the answering it. What's wrong with you, 18%? Like, I understand if you're just going for alternative decisions, but 18%, really? Come on. You can see she's clearly distressed. Like, what's wrong with you? Calling you all out on that one. Come on. You tried to shoot Frank. You didn't try to shoot Frank. Pretty divided. So you saved Kate's life. You couldn't save Kate's life. I'll admit, the first time I played this, I stopped the game right there and I said, okay, I got to figure this out because I'm not watching her die after all that. I've never seen how that plays out otherwise. If there's ever any interest in doing an alternative decisions playthrough, I would be willing to do it. Just to see the alternative way things can play out, because I've never seen a lot of it. I think most of the heavy decisions, I think a lot of us are on the same page. I'm interested in the last one. Most of us go for Nathan. Like I said, first time I played this, that's what I did. For obvious reasons. We know he was involved. Yeah, that part is obvious. I am actually surprised that Jefferson has a higher percentage than David. I will say, if you watch that ending video, though, there were a couple of interesting notes I made. One was that David was showing some compassion. He was being held in Joyce's arms. I think he felt what just nearly happened because he knows that he's somewhat responsible, which makes him a bit of a plot device, right? Victoria, also in somewhat distress there at the end, crying. Nathan walks in looking happy as ever. You know, we know he's involved. That part's clear. And I think that's also, it makes sense that he's, you know, the highest percentage on there, especially if this game's been out for years, right? This might not be quite 100% representation of what it was like at the time, because you know, this is a remaster, so a lot of people playing this have probably played it already. But it still looks like it's pretty much the way I remember it being. So those are the big decisions. Alright, minor decisions. 50-50 on watering the plant, like I said, because we watered it once, so the plant will be alive in the next episode. You helped Alyssa. Of course, this one was pretty obvious again. This was the toilet paper. I think most people usually choose to help unless they're just not seeing it. You erased the link. Yeah, I would expect that to be high. Assuming you see it. Assuming you see it with most of these. Sometimes people just don't see them. I think that one was pretty obvious. It was right in the cutscene. Or not cutscene, but dialogue. You were friendly with Taylor. Again, I'm going to go on the idea that if people weren't friendly with her, they probably either just skipped the conversation because they didn't want to talk to Taylor, which I completely understand, or they just didn't think to rewind. Because again, when I was first playing this, I did a lot of panic moments and a lot of not thinking moments because the game does give you an indicator to go back, but most people I think I've seen accept Warren's invitation. That's a different one for me. The first time I did, I accepted it. He just keeps bringing it up, and over time I felt like I don't dislike Warren, so I want to be clear about that. I don't dislike him. He is a little creepy in some regards when it comes to how hard he pushes for Max. No pun intended, and no bad thoughts out of your mind. Get them out of your mind. he's a little creepy in the sense that he kind of stalks her a bit, but he's not. I don't think he necessarily over pushes it. Other than the whole creeping out the window thing, that's weird. But you know, I do like Warren otherwise, but friend zone for my purposes. So otherwise, that's what I did the first time. I think he still does keep bringing it up no matter what, though. All right, and he's gonna get a message from Chloe later on based on decisions I'm gonna make. So and you'll see why I kind of choose that. You wrote a message or didn't write, again split, but probably a lot of people didn't even know it was there. So I'm gonna guess that's why it's split. Those of us that RPG this versus those of us that just go for story and objective. You tampered with the rail tracks or you didn't tamper. I think you can push the giant hose barrel off. I don't know what that is. I think it's for holding a hose. I could be wrong. I don't know what those are for otherwise. It's for holding something. It's a spool. But you push it, and I think you can tamper with the tracks in that sense. So because I cut the wire and just shifted them, I don't know if that has any repercussions down the road. I know they comment on it, but I haven't noticed anything out of the way. Gained entry to the Vortex Club party, so that's again kind of 50-50. Probably people just not wanting to talk to Courtney, because again, I understand. Notice that we got the chance to talk to two Victoria's two flunkies, essentially, her two best friends, outside of Nathan. So, you helped Warren, you didn't help Warren. And that's, again, because I think people just don't know how to help him. Because I had no idea to go talk to the teacher in that one. I think I tried talking to Brooke, I tried rewinding 100 times, I didn't get anywhere with it. So, and I thought the explosion in the face was possibly what you're supposed to do. I just didn't realize there was a photo hooked to it. You told on David to Mr. Jefferson. I didn't really feel like that was a big decision. He already knew. He commented on it. I feel like there's a reason that one's skewed, so... I mean, to me that feels like it's skewed for a reason, right? It's not just me. Okay. Alright, if you're following along for trophy completion, we have 2 new trophies for getting the new pictures, 1 for getting all the pictures, because there's 10 in the chapter, and the 1 for completing the chapter, which puts us at 24 out of 34 trophies, I think, is the total number. So we got that done and out of the way. Now the story from this chapter, like I said, the first episode is a slow burn. You know, they're setting the stage for the story, and people tend to complain about that. Personally, I like slow burns, and I always felt like, you know, Life is Strange games, they tend to be very chill until they're not, and so I like the slow burn aspect of them in many cases. Sometimes it can be a little bit over the top, but I like to explore, get the character's thoughts on it, not just Max, but the character thoughts on it, and all that good stuff. There's had to think of what I was going to say there. This chapter is a bit different because now we've kind of set the stage. So we got to see a little bit of what Max could do with her powers. We tested them out. Chloe knows what's going on. Chloe needed the demonstration. But this episode was kind of a split episode. There's 2 things going on here. There's the story with Chloe, and I'd say one of the biggest things with Chloe is that she nearly died a second time. The same way that she nearly died the first time. She did die, and then that's how Max's powers were kickstarted. And I don't think that's ironic. I think that's telling of the story of what they were trying to go for. And again, I brought up Donnie Darko because this kind of has a lot of reminiscence to Donnie Darko, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was a major inspiration. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that at all on my own. Like I said, when I first played this, that wasn't even a thought in my mind. Darkness is one who came up with that one, and I mentioned that a couple episodes back. In this episode, that I got to change the word episode. He's the one who actually brought that up, and I was like, yeah, this does. And once he said that, I was like, yeah, I can see the crossover in that. Like, I can imagine that being a big inspiration for this. If you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's really good. So you got that side of the story. You got this time travel side of the story. Then you have the story with Kate. which was somewhat introduced in the first episode, Chrysalis, and now came kind of to fruition somewhat, maybe not fully. Kate's alive, so it's not over for her. That could have been, so it could have come to a close here, but we have this story about bullying and suicide, essentially. And I feel like that was a really... I know some people say that this episode's very split. Like, it's hard to follow the storyline because you're being pulled in two different ways. And I can understand, I guess, in a way how that might be challenging to follow along with or feel disjointed, but I felt like it was a really powerful part of the episode, and I felt like it was really necessary to tell that story because they are in high school, and there's unfortunately a very common time in people's lives where that happens. Well into the 20s, that's probably the most common where you'll run across suicidal ideation. And it hits home for me for a few reasons. One, it brings me back to when I was in high school. Not even high school, when I was in school, period. Once I hated school so much when I was younger. From the day I went to kindergarten or before that even, to when the day I graduated. I would never want to relive that aspect of my life ever again. I hated it so much, and I still do to this day. And I still have nightmares thinking back to that. Because my situation was not like Kate's situation. Hers is very different, and I'm glad I did not grow up with that being... I feel really bad for kids these days, because, the internet was not what it is today. It was not like that back when I was in school. I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. Things were different. I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s. Things were really different for us. I'm a millennial, so I grew up with changing technology, so I experienced this stuff as it was happening when I was younger. And from early on, I was always picked on, always bullied, never, and it was, in some cases, it was very aggressively so, and it was also very, what's the word for it? I don't know, very persistent part of my life. It was something that was there. I would say it was to a point of straight up sexual harassment in many cases. Straight up sexual harassment. And I can name names and everything. I mean, that's how bad that stuck in my mind. And so that hits home for me. The side of suicidal ideation is something that was never on my mind at a younger age, but as I've gotten older has become much more prominent. It feels weird saying that out loud, even if it is only to a few people. And that's something that I would say that, the idea didn't really occur to me until probably closer to high school. It has progressed since then. And so that also hits home for me. And I have... I don't think it's ever been anybody that I've really been super close to. But there are people in my life that, have ended their lives. And it's a weird thing to experience. And so I think that's another reason that this episode really hits home for me. Personally, in many ways, and even, just having to experience people going through that, even if I wasn't necessarily close to them, it's like that's a person I knew. A person that maybe I wasn't really close, I wasn't even friends with. One person that comes to mind I was friends with, if you could call it that. I guess I'd say more acquaintance, but people I knew, people that I'd spent time with, people that, and they're gone because of something like that. And so again, that hits a little too close for home for me sometimes. And so this episode in that sense was very powerful. And I can still say I've never seen the alternative way that plays out, and I don't know if I'm happy about that or if I ever really want to see it. There are things that you don't think about with this type of thing playing out, and it's like, I don't know how that would affect me if I actually had to watch it. So yeah, I don't know if I have much more to say on the storyline, but it's like, you know, the episode's really split in that sense because you have these two different kind of storylines running in parallel. And then Max seemed very certain that this all had a connection to Rachel Amber, and we now know from the ending scene there that it does. Like I said, I brought up that at the very start of the episode, I think I brought up that the game episode, not my episode, so, you know, 2 episodes ago for me, that we saw this room with these binders in it that had names on it, and now we saw more of the room. There was a binder with Kate's picture being, I don't know, cut out or ready to go into the binder, and there was a glass of whiskey and some drugs there. You know, we can see now that there's more going on there than meets the eye, and Max said it, you know, we need to figure out what's going on. And she was texting Chloe at the end there. And, you know, Chloe kind of took a back seat at the end, the last section of this chapter, episode, which is, like I said, why it's kind of a, you know, scattered episode in terms of what's going on in it. And that is a good place to end this episode. So I am sorry for rambling on about that. But like I said, this just hits too close for home to me. I don't feel like it's something I can just overlook. So to recap, we started off at the school. Chloe had just dropped us off, and like I said, she took kind of a side seat to this part of the story. We explored the school a little bit. We could see that, you know, we confronted all the major players in some sense here. We had the confrontation with David Madsen. As we were making our way down the hall, we heard some really inappropriate commentary coming out of Mr. Jefferson. We had a short confrontation with Nathan before leading up to this peak of the episode, this major moment where Kate decided to take her life. And we had to stop that, or at least try to. In our case, it worked out for us, but then we had to sit down and point the finger at somebody. And for storyline purposes, like I said, I just went with Nathan. We'll talk more about this later because we don't have the big picture here. But to me, at this point, evidence-wise, he's the one who's most directly responsible in the big picture of things for kickstarting this. And there's a lot of blame to go around for the 3 of them. And it ends off with 2 things. One, there's a new weather event that's occurring, which of course ties more directly to Chloe's story. And Chloe even brought up chaos theory here, which is why I made the comment that I'm just sitting here by myself talking to myself, because I love that line, and that's from Jurassic Park. My God, if you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. It's really good if you haven't seen it. But yeah, so, you know, which is well explained in that, I would say. I don't know if it's as well explained here as I would like it to be, but it's not a science game. It's, even though they bring it up a lot, this is more story driven. So that's kind of how that part played out, and then we got to see that Max is making this connection somehow between Rachel Amber and Kate, and so going forward, you know, sounds like we're up for an investigation. So, with that being said, let us close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.